to register for college. Well, my mom, when she found out, she was very upset. But she told me, Ruben, what are you doing? I said, well, it's too late for me to register. I can't go to college. You know what she told me? You think you're going to stay here all day? You need to go get a job. Okay? I've been working since the age of 13 every year. Because even when I was in junior high, my mom made us work every summer to help her with the household. Okay? Because my father was the only one who didn't work, who worked. So all the boys and girls, we worked every summer. And she took half of our pay. She did, because we ate, and we ate a lot. So I worked, and I found a job in this factory. Nothing against factories, but I will never work in a factory again. Okay? It was cold. There was no heat. They gave us half hour for lunch. And those lunches, every Wednesday, turned out to be 5 minutes. You know why? Because we used to get paid on Wednesdays. So what we used to do, we used to run to the bank, cash our checks, go to the grocery store, buy a sandwich, and have 5 minutes to eat it. Okay? Those were the worst 4 months, and I swore that I couldn't wait to get back to school. And I swore I would never work in a factory again. So I went back to college and I graduated. And when I graduated, my parents were the most proud people in the earth. Because I am the only one out of my 5 children, my 5 brothers and sisters, that graduated from college. So with these words I tell you, there's nothing that can get in your way unless you let it get in your way. Thank you very much.
The son of an orphan mother at the age of 2, a father also orphan at the age of 5, born and raised in what was called kitchen hell, where there was a lot of youngsters and gangs and doing all kinds of crazy things. But you know what? This man made a commitment to himself. This man made a commitment to educate himself. And life is about ups and downs. But you know what? Most of you are between 13, 14, maybe 15 years of age, right? And then you may say to yourself, well, I'm very young. I cannot take certain responsibilities yet. Well, let me tell you that you are the only one that could decide what to do with your life, like he did. And then you say, yes, Mr. Torres, but I come from a poor family. Yes, Mr. Torres, but I am an Afro-American. Yes, Mr. Torres, but my parents are divorced. Yes, Mr. Torres, but, and those are excuses. Only excuses. you haven't decided yet what to do with yourself. And then you get confused. And then you blame everybody else. You blame the teacher, you blame the school, you blame mom and pop, you blame the system, you blame the government, you blame your friends, and you are skipping your responsibility. No one could make you do something that you don't want to do. You are responsible for your life. And if you want a good example of that, maybe I'm going to do something that I've never done before. My father in Puerto Rico is an architect. I wanted to be an interior designer. And my father being an architect, he sent his son to the United States to study. But his son is a victim of a patriarchal system of family. So for the first time in my life, at the age of 14, I felt like a little bird that you open the cage and he goes out flying. And I came to live in a little town called Lake Ronkonkoma with my godparents in Long Island. And then I went through high school and I came to the city. And it was time for me to go to college. And then I met a beautiful young lady. I was not yet 18. And I called my father and I said, I want to get married. And my father says, nothing doing, mister. You went there to study, not to get married. But I was a wise guy, so I got myself a tutor to sign for me, and I got married just 4 months before my age of 18. And then, you know what? Now I am married, and I have to study. And then I thought, and I said, oh my God, now I have problems. But I came to this country to study. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to find myself a job, and I'm going to study at the same time. So if I found myself a job during the day, it was hard to study at nighttime. But if I find myself a job at nighttime, well, what kind of jobs could I find at nighttime? You know what I found? Washing dishes. And then I said to myself, well, my father is an architect. I'm going to be a what? Well, the truth to the matter is that the problem that I have of having to support a wife is a problem that my father didn't want me to have. Since I did this against the wish of my father, I should not bother my father. I took the job as a dishwasher, part-time in many restaurants in New York City. And I went to school. And I became an interior designer. Luckily, one day somebody went into a restaurant and he was looking at me, and he says, haven't I seen you someplace? I don't know. To be 19. So happened that this guy was a friend of my father and he remembers me. I said, what are you doing here? By that time I was a busboy. What are you doing here? And then, needless to say, that I shake like a leaf. I was so scared. Thanks God to that visitor, to that client in that restaurant, because he told my father, and about 10 days later, things changed for me. I didn't have to wash any more dishes. But the point, ladies and gentlemen, is that I felt responsible for my life. The point is that I understood that I made a mistake that my father didn't want me to do, so then I became the responsible being that every human being should be. And today I'm proud to say that I am the son architect, that I am an interior designer, and a few other things that I could add to this. But I washed dishes for over 1 year in various restaurants. Because you see, it's nothing wrong with washing dishes and being a housekeeper or being whatever it is, so long that you do it with honor and with honesty. You know what is bad? When somebody comes to you and tells you, especially somebody who has a lot of gold around him and is about your age, and tells you, look at this, look at me. I have gold, I have money, I have this, I have that, and I will give you some money. All you have to do is stand yourself in the corner and let me know when the police comes. That's money that you don't want. You don't want to have that gold in you. And you don't want this friend to tell you that you're not a man because you don't do that. That you're a fool because you don't take advantage. Let me tell you, those people with all that money and all that gold has only 2 places to go. One is a coffin, and the other one is what? Prison. And let me tell you one thing. That is what you have to understand today, despite the fact that you are very young, that everything is in here. And don't blame anybody. The teachers are doing a terrific job to help you. But you know what? It is your responsibility to take the knowledge that the teachers give you and put it to good use. You are superhuman beings, believe it or not, and it's all in your brain. As a matter of fact, Brenda has a book that I think is one of the most terrific books. Every executive in the United States and abroad have read this book at one time or another. And she wants to give you the name of that book, and at your age, it will be terrific if you really buy this book and read it. Brenda, tell me.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you, to the leaders of tomorrow. I was inspired by 2 books. Number 1 was the Bible. That was a faith inspiration that let me go through all adversity. And I also was inspired by this book by the name of Think and Grow Rich. Please write it down. The students that want to read this book, I will give you my phone number so you call me if you need to discuss this book. Who would like to write on this book? Come on, guys. This is a very important book.
What is the name of the book?
The book name is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I'm going to give you some footnotes here that I want you to write down that will help you. The book is Think and Grow Rich. Richness doesn't mean only financially. Richness means spiritually and accomplishing something. Now, this is some footnotes that I want to leave in your mind with, that I always had it on my walls in my house, in my basement house, and in my attic.
Okay. Now let me close by saying something else. There was somebody that said once, don't curse the darkness. light a candle. And what does it mean that light a candle in your life? It means equip yourself or arm yourself with the weapon of knowledge. Knowledge that you obtain in the school. Knowledge that is given to you by your teachers. Now, what is the best weapon that you could have? The most powerful weapon that you could have is what? Knowledge. And where you obtain it? In the school. And who gives it to you? Let's try that. I like that. What is the most powerful weapon you have? Where do you obtain it? Who gives it to you? Terrific. Now let me tell you something. Let me tell you something else. Tonight, in this school, I am talking to a group of your parents. I hope that you could tell mom and dad to come here tonight, because I also have a message for them. And the message is you. I'm going to be talking about you. I'm going to be talking about a lot of things that concerns parents, and sometimes they don't seem to be aware of. That's what we're going to be talking tonight, here. Tell mom and dad to come here tonight. It'll be good for them. It'll be good for you. See, the teachers are doing a terrific work, a job, trying to get parents involved in your education. But parents have a lot of responsibilities. Work, housework, a lot of things. But they don't understand how to discipline themselves to help you and do their other duties. I'd like to thank the school administration, Mrs. Juana Carrero Lipsky, who is always very. I'd like to thank Mrs. Amatula and your vice principal. I'd like to do something else that we've never done before. With Mrs. Amatula's permission, I'd like to invite all the teachers here to the front for a picture for the newspaper. And I'd like to congratulate you because you are really a terrific audience. But again, while the teachers get to the front, see, I told you at my age I forget things very easy. I already forgot the faces of the three people that I'm going to invite. Let me see those. Sheriff, that's good. Beautiful, very good. I'm going to see some of your parents tonight. Please tell mom and pop that is very important. Mom, pop, grandmother, this is for parents, grandparents, and God. Tell them to come here tonight at 6 o'clock. And I'm going to be talking to them in Spanish, and a copy of my speech tonight is going to be in English too for those who cannot speak English. But it's important that you tell, Mom, I like you, do it for me, go there tonight.
Ya tomaron.